I call to order the regular meeting on Monday, June 12th of the Police Commission. Let us start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving on to the next item of our agenda is correspondence. However, our clerk is not here. Mr. Long, would you be so kind as to read our correspondence?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I just waiting for a week.
Oh, good. Good. Hi, this was received from a resident, Officer Russell and Kenny. The residents want to express their appreciation for Officer Russell and Officer Kenny's assistance when they locked themselves out of when the residents locked themselves out of their car. The officers were very professional, patient, and cordial. They represented the department well. It's nice. Oh, here's one for receiving the chief concerning Deputy Chief Davis, Sergeant Harrington, and Officer Deputy Chief Davis, oh yeah, here we say it again. The three guys responded to a medical call. Their rapid response, coordinated effort, CPR and AED, and the care during and after their life-saving measures that were provided from the moment of their arrival to the time they left the residence was highly commendable. The husband of the patient was extremely appreciative for what all of the responders did for his wife. Good job, guys. Our resident, Officer Cruz. This resident wanted to thank Officer Cruz for his professionalism when being dispatched to their residence for a noise complaint. They were celebrating her husband's birthday. Upon arrival, the resident said that Officer Cruz shook her husband's hand and wished him a happy birthday when asking to have the music turned down. This encounter is meaningful in more ways than one. We are the only black family in our neighborhood, and to my surprise, we were treated with respect and dignity. They wanted to extend a thank you to Officer Cruz for his professionalism and let him know he has set the bar high. That's good. A couple of residents for Officer Sheehan and Officer Crowley. The President wanted to commend Officer Sheehan and Officer Crowley, who have gone above and beyond to assist him with a series of threatening text messages. When they met with the resident, they were professional, courteous, and understanding while easing the resident's fears after receiving his messages. Very good. From a police cadet for Officer Brittle and Officer Cushman. This police cadet wanted to thank both Officer Brittle and Officer Cushman for the opportunity to take part in the police cadet program. I've enjoyed working with the officers and participating in the various training and scenarios, NERLEEA Skills Day, and volunteering for events, all while learning the positive impacts that our law enforcement has within our community. The cadet wanted to thank the officers for the time, effort, and support that they put in. We're touching everybody here. This is great. Another resident concerning Officer Arnold. The resident wanted to thank Officer Arnold so much for his help in responding to their call for service. The officers and paramedics were a wonderful team. Excellent. Very good.
That concludes our correspondence. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
The next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. That came in a separate email. Did you all have a chance to review them?
I certainly did. Okay.
They're not in the packet, that's why.
Well, I got two things here.
Okay.
Were they good?
They were fantastic.
Well, then
But if you did not review them, I can push them to our next meeting because I know they're separate, so I don't want to.
No, I'd like to move that they be approved.
Okay. In that case, do I have a second?
Oh,
That's you. All in favor of approving the minutes for the May 8th, 2023 meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved. The next item on our agenda is the chairman's report. Oh, good job. I just have three things I wanted to mention briefly. On May 25th, our Citizens Police Academy had the opportunity to do our skills day, and the whole thing was awesome, but specifically we got to use the Apex training simulator. and it was really cool. So I know it was a little before your time, but we really tried to get that on the Board of Selectmen's. Not yours, but he knows what it is, and I'm assuming you remember. But we really worked to get that on the budget, and then they approved it, and it was totally worth it. I have zero skills as anything, although Officer Morano was very kind and said, "Good shooting," but I think he said that to everyone. Anyway, I just wanted to say, like, from a layman's perspective, it was a great investment, and I assume that people that actually know what they're doing are getting a lot more out of it than just having fun. On June 1st, I got to participate in the torch run, the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. That was also a really great experience. It was a neat community, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you all start practicing because you are going to have to do it next year. It's just a little jaunt from the Dunkin' Donuts all the way up over the mountain into West Hartford. You got it, though. It's going to be fine. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was the swearing-in ceremony on June 7th. Commissioner Long was there, but we swore in Officer Kenny and Officer Sheehan, as well as the Animal Control Officer, Clark. Do we call her Officer Clark? Is that the proper terminology? And it was a great ceremony, and there was a lot of the public there. It was a lot of fun. So y'all did a good job. And that concludes the chairman's report. I will turn it over to the chief for his.
Quick update on personnel. So as the chair had said, we recently held a welcome ceremony for 3 of our newest members. It was well attended and nice to see those who were able to make it. Officer Sheen completed his field training program and has been out solo for just over a week now. Officer Kenny continues with his field training program. As you recall, he had to go to the police academy, and he will be graduating in April. He's doing very well. We expect that he'll complete his training in the next couple months. We are actively trying to fill our 1 dispatch vacancy that we've had since September last year. We are currently conducting a background investigation on a candidate. We are still looking to fill the 1 officer vacancy, and applications are slowly coming in. We're still running an open application process to fill that position, the new position in the upcoming budget, and to help with our potential, or actually our confirmed retirement effective September 1.
Sorry, who was that again?
Sergeant Chris Malcolm.
Thank you.
We are still experiencing many shift vacancies due to illness, injury leave, the 1 officer vacancy, and having 1 officer on field training. Approximately 20% of our patrol force is currently not available to work or to work on a solo basis, either because of vacancy or because extended leave. That number is slowly coming down. As you recall, back in October, November, we were closer to 20 or 30%. We are looking forward to having 1 return, hopefully by the end of this month. Actually 2 by the end of this month. Recent and upcoming events: the Special Olympics torch run was held on June 1st, as the chair had mentioned. Due to other commitments, we only had a few participants this year, but Sergeant Laurel Harrington helped to coordinate the event throughout the entire region for the day. SRO Trevor Patel and Police Commissioner Chair John Caulfield ran our leg with 8 officers, and they were accompanied by Deputy Chief Davis and Jamie Ball on the bicycles. Public Works held a Touch a Truck event on Saturday, May 20th. Officer Tony Campazzelli was present with 1 of our cruisers. Parks, Rec, and Culture will be hosting a Touch a Truck event on Saturday, June 17th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Simsbury Farms. We will have an officer present and a cruiser. Again, that's Saturday, June 17th, 9 to 11 at Simsbury Farms. And then we have a scheduled story time at the police department on July 18th at 10 a.m. And you can join Ms. Stephanie and members of the police department for some stories and some photos. This is for children ages 1 to 6, accompanied by their caregiver. It's not a drop-off. One trend to continue to speak of is there have been 14 vehicle thefts in Simsbury since January 1. Last year at this time, I believe there were 4 or 5. And again, here's the common theme: most are left unlocked, key fobs or keys left in the vehicles. An update on some grants. We received approval last month from the Board of Selectmen to apply for the congressionally directed spending for funds to upgrade our emergency medical dispatch system from a handheld card system to a digital system, and funds to update and enhance town hall and police department access system. That's all the doors, interior and exterior doors. The grant request is for 100% coverage and is about $112,000. We've applied but not yet heard back from the federal government on that.
Do they have a timeframe when we think we'll hear back from them?
No, if we go by the last one that we applied for in 2021, it was the fall that we heard that we would hear again later, and then we'd hear again later. So I would expect some sort of notice this fall. We also received approval from the Board of Selectmen and applied for the COPS grant to support funding up to $42,000 for each new officer over the next 3 fiscal years. So that application has been submitted, and hopefully we will hear from them within the next month or two.
Is that federal or state?
That's federal. One budget item to talk about. Next year's budget includes scheduling software for us. We have been researching vendors for months now. Members of the Ledyard Police Department and South Windsor Police Department provided us with demonstrations separately on 2 different scheduling software. We have scheduled demos from the actual vendors for later this month, and we've included a member of the finance department to join us on that because there will be integration with the town payroll system. And that's all I have for my report.
All right. Do either of you have any questions on the chief's report? In that case, let us move to the consolidated monthly. You said no. Oh, then back it up.
I'd like to know more about the sizing study, the right sizing. That was the report since December.
So it's back with them, with Certus now. After another review by us, it's back with them, and hopefully we'll come back with a final draft.
Well, we paid for it.
We paid for part of it. So the contract was paying for different increments. One was their travel and expenses. We've not paid for the entire document. Or
And you
entire
said
project.
hopefully joking. Hopefully they'll come back with the final report.
Well, hopefully it'll be soon. Yeah, I imagine it will be. We've been in communication.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Consolidated. You ready to move on? Okay. Consolidated monthly report. Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Car thefts is interesting. It continues to be up. How much more we can do about that, right?
Correct.
Are the larcenies the car thefts? The 15?
No.
No. People are just stealing other stuff as well. Kind of like converters.
No,
Puppies?
kind of like converters. Some wallets, purses, sunglasses, mostly stuff that's from a lot of cars.
Okay.
There was a couple that were actual brakes.
Gotcha.
But mostly were unlocked vehicles, cars runners.
I noticed our overtime is very, very high.
It's very, very high.
Shocking, but anything there shocking other than the fact that it's trending with what you expect?
No, it is trending with what is expected with the amount of the issues that we've dealt with time off, with injuries. We're hoping to get a little bit of relief when Jeremiah comes off of field training. So that will be 2 in the couple month period where people will be off and looking to fill a vacancy and hire another and try to get there.
All right. Do either of you have any questions on the consolidated monthly?
No, I don't
Okay. Then how about the incident statistic report? This guy. The last one. Yes. Any questions, concerns, thoughts? All right.
Is there anything that you think we should know in this report?
No, we have seen, it's not in this report, but in the last week or so, we've seen an increase in overdoses. So we will be keeping track of that and seeing, if there's anything that we can do about that. But I want to say that there were 3 in the last week and a half.
Any particular age bracket?
I do not know the ages. definitively.
Was there a car and bike accident a couple of weeks ago?
There was, yeah, from about the Walker School. Yeah, it's currently under investigation. Yeah, as far as we know, that the bicyclist is doing okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. And then the budget. Did you all have a chance to review the budget, and do you have any questions?
Well, you already asked me about the budget a couple of times.
Yes. And there was an increase in gas, again, not shocking, because gas is more expensive. And I noticed there was an increase on the ACO clothing and supply, and I'm assuming that's because we had two. And,
We had to purchase basically 2 sets of clothing and equipment.
It was 500%.
In the last year, yes.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, then, moving on to the next item of our agenda, the new business, sergeant promotion. I will turn it over to the chief.
Okay, thank you. So the department conducted a sergeant promotion examination process over the last couple of months, and I have 2 recommendations for you. And I will ask that Tim May come up here and join us, please. So from my first recommendation is to promote Tim May from officer to sergeant. He is currently the rank of officer and assigned to the detective division. This promotion will almost immediately fill a patrol sergeant shortage we have. Tim May joined the Simsbury Police in 2010 after working as a police officer in Granby for almost 4 years. Officer May spent several years in the patrol division. He became a field training officer because he was recognized for his performance and his ability to teach others. His talents brought him to the high school, where he was the school resource officer for 2 years. Based on his investigative skills, he was assigned to the detective division, where he has performed extremely well for the last 7 years. He is on the regional crisis negotiator team and a leader for our peer support team. Tim has been actively involved in the community in a variety of roles for many years. For example, he is a board member of the ABC House. Prior to his career as a police officer, Tim served our nation for 6 years as a Coast Guard reservist. His last assignment as a port security specialist. Tim has always been a team player, a supporter, role model, and positive figure. He has demonstrated character traits needed in successful leadership, such as compassion, understanding, and respect. He is authentic, consistent, intelligent, and a role model in and out of work. He often supports others through his involvement, such as Special Olympics. Tim has consistently demonstrated great understanding and support of our mission. So I recommend to you, the Police Commission, the promotion of Tim May to sergeant, effective tomorrow, June 13, 2023. And this is Tim May.
Thank you. I will turn it over to the commission. I always start at one and just work our way across, but so tonight you're in the hot seat because we're short. So we'll start with Eric. Any questions?
No, no question.
It's so long. But he's done a terrific job. He's been on the force, so I can have the recommend approval. So if we come to a vote, you got one.
All right. Well, I got to see him in action at our Citizens Police Academy, and I will say he's got fantastic spreadsheets. His attention to detail is, I love it. So, all right, no questions. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Red.
Okay. What do you order at Starbucks?
Whatever my wife orders for me.
Good answer. All right, well.
Good answer, good answer.
In that case, we'll talk to our next candidate, and then we'll shoo you all out so we can talk about you behind your backs.
Thank you.
And now that I ask Tim Russell to please join us. My second recommendation for the evening is to promote Tim Russell from officer to sergeant. He is currently the rank of officer assigned to the patrol division. This promotion will fill a patrol assignment and enhance our supervision and staffing needs. Officer Russell joined the Simsbury Police in 2015 after serving as a police officer in the city of Bristol for 10 years. While in Bristol, Tim had an impressive career. He was a member of an emergency response team, a field trainer for new officers, and organized and participated in numerous community outreach programs. He was an evidence technician and a police mountain bike officer, to name a few ancillary responsibilities. He worked well individually, as an instructor, and as a team member. He carried over those skill sets and has demonstrated proficiency in all those settings in this department. For Simsbury, he trains new officers. He rides a mountain bike, and he's a member of our peer support team. He has participated in outreach and support roles such as Special Olympics. Tim is personable, very intelligent, caring, and very reliable. His work demonstrates an excellent understanding of our mission, and he has a sharp attention to detail. Tim holds a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, and I recommend to the Police Commission the promotion of Tim Russell to Sergeant, effective July 1, 2023. Mr. Tim Russell, thank you.
Go. I'm gonna again start at the end.
No question.
Oh, jeez Louise.
All right, what's your favorite cup of coffee?
Straight black coffee.
There you go. All right.
I can think of my own questions. Commissioner
You've
Long.
obviously been through almost everything in our department all the time right now.
Yes.
Is there anything that's your favorite, or is it?
I love very in-depth investigations, so chiefs could probably tell you that any investigation I get, I try to take it as deep as possible because I think that best benefits the community and our community members. And at the same time, even if sometimes people don't want to push the investigation as far, it's good to bring it to a certain level so that we can deter it for other citizens as well, so that doesn't happen to other people.
Okay, thank you. So thank you.
I'm sure you don't have another question. I
I
noticed.
have one question. What do you think about her pen?
I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm gonna borrow it.
I didn't even know that it would match. I noticed you switched from college baseball to college basketball. What is that
So-
about? I'm very disappointed because baseball is a better sport.
I didn't switch.
Okay.
So I played basketball all 4 years in college. Baseball, I only played my junior year. And the reasoning was because in high school, I had pretty bad tendonitis in my elbow. So I stopped playing baseball. And then after a few years in college, I was just messing around and throwing the ball. And the coach saw me and asked me to try out my junior year. So I kind of said, well, I'll try out. But if I'm not going to play, please tell me because I don't just want to go for rides a bunch of times. And so I tried out, I made it, I started every game, but then I was really deep into basketball, so I didn't really have the time to do both sports as I got into my senior year, so I stuck with basketball.
Chose poorly. But I'm happy you were happy. What's your favorite color?
Great.
Okay. Any other further questions?
You're just saying that because she's wearing green.
It's
Okay.
yellow.
Why green is fine.
All right. If we have no further questions, I will ask the Tims to leave so that we can confer amongst ourselves. We are back to our regular meeting. All right. I will entertain a motion to promote Officer Tim May to Sergeant, effective tomorrow, June 13th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? In that case, Officer Tim May, congratulations on your promotion. Your promotion effective June 13th, 2023.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And then there's the other one.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion
Yes,
that Officer Tim Russell be promoted to Sergeant effective
July 1st.
July 1st.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? In that case, congratulations.
Yes.
Soon to be Sergeant Tim Russell, effective July 1st.
Congratulations, Sarge.
Right. We got to start an interdepartmental basketball coach.
There's one stipulation that you become my daughter's basketball coach.
Yes.
All right. Any old business?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
All right, all in favor of adjourning at 5:34, the regular meeting of the Police Commission today, on Monday, June 12th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.